Record. And I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Stephanie, and I work at the Santa Cruz County Office of Education as an EdTech and Innovation TOSA, which is a mouthful. I help to sort of bridge the gap between curriculum and instruction and the Tech Plus team. And I'm really excited because I'm co-facilitating this restorative start this morning with my colleague, Audrey. Audrey, you want to say hi?
Hi, everyone. Good morning. I'm Audrey Sirota. I'm the Arts Coordinator for the Santa Cruz County Office of Education, and I love starting with restoration. It's a great place to begin.
Yeah, much needed at this time of year. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that we can get started. All right, so as we mentioned, we're here today for the restorative start for the back to school reboot. And I'm going to go ahead and put the link to today's slides for the start in the chat. And part of the reason for that is that we'll be looking at quotes that sort of focus on new beginnings and fresh starts. And our hope is that you're able to take the slide deck, and if you wanted to, you could use it in the first weeks with your students to get them also thinking and reflecting about how to come together as a learning community and how to sort of think about and reflect on what it feels like to have the start of the school year upon us. So as we mentioned, my name's Stephanie and I'm here with Audrey, and we'll be co-facilitating today's session. And I'm going to pass it over to Audrey to go ahead and give us the directions.
And as Stephanie was saying, you could do this with little preschoolers using visuals, and you can use it all the way up to college students. It's a great first week, second week of school activity. So basically, our goal for this activity, whether no matter what age group you're working with, is to connect with each other. It's a connection activity. You're going to select one of 5 quotes, and you're going to rename yourself with your quote number first. So if you liked quote 1, you would put put that at the beginning of your name when you rename yourself. And then you're just going to spend individual reflection time, 2 to 3 minutes. With kids, depending on their age, you would give a lot longer time, with adults as well. And you can write, you can draw, you can doodle, sketch, you can act out, you can dance, you can find a piece of music that goes with your quote. You can do any of those things depending what the quote means to you. And then after our individual reflection time, Stephanie is going to put you in your breakout rooms depending what number you renamed yourself, of which quote you kind of wanted to sketch or write or dance about. And then you're going to share with the people in your breakout room your thoughts about the quote. And the specific essential question we were addressing this morning is, how does this quote impact your thoughts about starting the school year? And you could do something very similarly with any age group of your students. I do this with, some of you might remember the old GLAD strategies with GLAD observation charts, and I put about 6 quotes around the room and have kids look at them and then do a very similar activity. And at the end, we do a share out. So any questions? You can put them in the chat or ask unmute. We would love if once in your breakout rooms, if you're able to put even if you're in your pajamas still, with your cup of coffee, if you could show yourself off, show your video. So, because it's much, as we all know, it's part of the best practices of Zoom if you can have your camera on so your colleagues can see you. So if you're able to, and no one cares, like I said, if you're in your PJs, it's totally fine. All right, any questions? Okay, so take a couple minutes to look at the quotes. The 5th one's the longest. And then in that time also, please, in whatever way, you can take your camera off for this if you want to. Whatever way, drawing, doodling, sketching, acting out, dancing, finding a piece of music, whatever way works for you. Finding a visual representation through a photograph or image is also fine. to share with your group. Breakout rooms. Oh, thank you for putting your numbers in the chat.
Yes. All right, so we'll go ahead and open the breakout rooms, and you'll have 10 minutes in the breakout rooms. So we'll come back at 9:25.
I can share. I was number one. A fresh start isn't a new place; it's a new mindset. And I'm new this year, and I've been working for the same school district for 15 years before this, and doing the same thing the whole time. Working with special needs kids, and I love it. But this is a new start, a new school district or county. But it's going to be the same thing in the sense that I'll make new friends, and I'll make, I'll get to meet new kids and work with new kids. And that's the exciting part and the happy part for me. So it's a new mindset, but it's kind of the same. Like it's still going to be a great experience.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
Thank
No problem.
you. One more person.
I can share.
Thank you.
So in our group, we had the third quote, which is the one by Maya Angelou that said, it's not about people won't remember what you do or what they taught you, but they'll remember how you made them feel. And in our group, we just talked about how kids will remember how you interacted with them way more than the content that you teach. And so it's really important to start with that foundation of relationships and getting to know them and making sure that you treat them with respect. And then you can do the content. But that foundation of relationships and making sure that you are just really in tune with your students will really help build on that content and how they treat you, 20 years down the line when you're still talking to them.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And Wendy, Wendy put in the chat, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Wendy. And I think we're going to have to stop, unfortunately, our whole group sharing. If you did this with your students, of course, you'd want to allow a lot more time for each piece of it. And so I hope you do. And if you do, let us know how it goes. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Stephanie.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, everyone. We are going to take a quick 3-minute sort of intermission and then come back, and the kickoff will start at 9:30. We have an amazing keynote speaker, Ed Campos, so you want to make sure that you come back to hear what he has to say. So for the next 3 minutes, we invite you to sort of turn your cameras and mics off, grab your coffee or your tea, and then come back and rejoin us at 9:30 in the same Zoom link. So you don't need to go anywhere.
And don't forget to look in the chat. Those of you who are with us for the Restorative Start, Amity posted a book that somebody recommended called The Courage to Teach, The Inner Landscape of a Teacher, an excellent book. So definitely check it out. Thank you for posting, Amity. See y'all in a couple minutes.
All right, see you in a few.
For our awesome keynote speaker.
Yes.
On every vacation at a verbal home, there's someone like you who reunited the
It's the thought of being young when your heart's just like a drum, beating louder with nowhere to guard it. When it all seems like it's wrong.